morning. I'm your host, Don Acevedo, to Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass, and we're live here this morning at 5109 Liberty Highway, Pendleton, South Carolina. If you care to drop by during the show, you feel free. Just come on in and sit down, and if you have any questions, we'll answer them for you. And if you want to call in during the show, you can, 864-376-1482. Again, that's 864-376-1482. Okay, our guest today, and I think I'm gonna get him to be my my co-host one of these days, is Mr. Mark Stoudemire. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Good to be here. Thank you, Don.
And we got some exciting stuff to tell you today. We were on a trip, and we're going to share that with you this morning.
Let's get a little hot corn, cold corn first.
Yeah.
Hot corn, cold corn.
Okay, our shout-outs go to Jane, Josh, Heather, Carter, Blaine, Hudson, Grant, Sil, Heidi, Charlie, Harper, and Chris. And the weather outside today is 79 degrees. It's going to be a nice day today. 92 is the high today. It's going to be a little warm. And we have a 15% chance of rain in the upstate. And of course, always loving our son Martin back there in the picture, if you can see him. He went to be with the Lord, a good boy. So we always remember Martin. He's why this store is here today. Here at Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass, we have music lessons all week. We teach fiddle, classical violin, mandolin, bass, guitar, banjo, anything with a string on it. We teach it here. Mr. Bell over here is one of our instructors for guitar and banjo. Mark Stoudemire is also an instructor here for bass and mandolin. Teaches, a good teacher. Actually,
ukulele too.
Oh, and ukulele, yeah.
That's been added.
That's kind of added on, yeah. But he teaches ukulele now. He's actually having one custom built for him. He might talk about that a little later. And I've always said we have the best instructors in the upstate by far, and we do. We have Mark Stoudemire here. He's on Wednesdays, or any day that you can schedule with Mark. He'd be glad to come down here, give you a lesson.
I'm retired, so somewhat available most of the time.
Yeah.
And my deal is pay as you go because I travel a good bit. So
yeah, so pay as you go. You come take a lesson, pay him, and ready for the next lesson, he'll set you up. We also have Mr. Gary Bell, who's in the back, and he has students that come. I think he has a student he took in the back there to do a lesson, but Mr. Gary Bell also teaches banjo and guitar. His brother, Gary Bell, used to teach here years ago.
Larry.
And he passed away. We sure do miss him.
That was Larry.
Huh?
Larry. You said Gary.
Oh, I meant Larry Bell. I get them confused, and they both look like each other, so it's hard to look at one and not see the other one. So anyway, for more information on any of this stuff, you can call me at 864-376-1482. Again, 864-376-1482, and we'll be glad to meet all your musical needs. We used to have a voice teacher here, but he doesn't come here. But I'm sure somebody here can teach you how to sing, too. It's not sing in bluegrass, it's sang, S-A-N-G, sang. Okay, here's some upcoming events we got. Don't forget the 3rd annual Heading Home Festival in Swainsboro, Georgia, October 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th, 2024. They've been up here several times, the Heading Home group. Wonderful family. They have so many kids. They have 2 bands, the older band, and then they have a younger band. I think they have, 11 children?
A bunch.
Yeah,
I can't quote
I think they have about 11 children. So they got 2 groups, the smaller group, and they're all excellent musicians, and the older group. So they've been here several times. So make sure you get to the Heading Home Festival, Swainsville, Georgia, October 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th, 2024. And you want more information on that festival, you may call Libby at 912-432-5885. Again, for more information on that festival, Heading Home Festival, call Libby at 912-432-5885. Okay, the next item is the Jeff Martin Auctioneer, located in Pelzer, South Carolina. and they got an auction coming up August the 10th. They got an auction coming up, and you can also go live and online. Jeff Martin Auctioneers, the monthly public auction, vehicles, pickups, boats, motorcycles, and RVs. You can consign today. They're open from 8 to 4 Monday through Friday. Now, you need to contact your sales professional to get all your stuff in there, and his name is Blaine Albertson. He's my grandson. His number is 864-556-5384. Again, Jeff Martin Auctioneers coming up August the 10th. Contact Blaine Albertson, 864-556-5384 for all your auction needs. And they're located at 1618 Auction Drive, Pelzer, South Carolina. We got some other dates coming up. I think they have them once a month. Yeah, you can find any kind of vehicle there, all the stuff, boats. They also sell heavy equipment, and I don't know when that happens, but they also have heavy equipment. Okay, please subscribe on the button below. It says subscribe for our channel. Click that and subscribe for our channel. We need a lot of subscribers to get on on the program, because I think once you get over 1,000 subscribers, Facebook has to pay you. That's what I understand. So if we get over 1,000, we might be able to make a little money, because right now we're a non-profit organization. We don't make any money here. Not yet, but we're going to, hopefully, in the future. Okay, I think that's all I got. So welcome to the show, Mark.
Little hot corn, cold corn.
Yeah, he wants to do a little song called Hot Corn, Cold Corn.
Well, you sing two choruses.
Yeah.
One, well, a hot corn, a cold corn, bring along a demijohn. Hot corn, a cold corn, bring along a demijohn. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along a demijohn. Farewell, Uncle Bill, see you in the morning. Yes, sir, one more time. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along the demijohn. Hot corn, a cold corn, bring along the demijohn. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along the demijohn. Farewell, Uncle Bill, see you in the morning. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
We might have another tune for you later on. Mark always has songs up his sleeve.
Let me turn this.
By the way, Mark, I think it's your sister-in-law. Is that Julie's sister?
Uh-huh.
What's her name?
The one that lives on
Yeah.
Liz?
Yeah, she texted me this morning. She said she wasn't able to get on
Oh, okay.
because she watches the show. So I sent her information on how to get on.
Hi, Liz.
program.
Hope you're there.
Hey, I hope you're there, Liz, watching us. Yeah, just go to, if you want to get on, several ways you can get on, but here's the way I can tell you. Go on Breazeale's, Breazeales, Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass Live. You got to put the live. Yeah. Breazeale's Grocery Bluegrass Live. And you just punch on that, and you should be able to get our broadcast. Anyway, yeah, get on and subscribe for it. And we'll see where you subscribe, and we thank you for your subscription to our show. Okay, today's show we're going to talk about our trip to Puerto Rico that we went on last week. We were away for a week, and Mark and his wife Julie went with us, and another couple went with us.
James and Tammy.
James and Tammy went with us. They're friends of ours that come here and play. He's a musician as well on Saturday night. So there were 6 of us. We drove to Charlotte, spent the night, and we got on one of those big Airbus. No, it wasn't an Airbus. It was A320.
It was an Airbus.
Yeah,
it was
the
an
Airbus.
airplane.
Got on that big boy, and I sat next to, I always liked the window seat, and I was able to see the engine, and the wings go like this. My wife doesn't like that. Wings go like this.
In other words, they really do flap.
Yeah, they really do flap, and then when they hit a little turbulence, you see that engine kind of moving around a little bit. For some people it might be scary, but for me, being a pilot, I love it. So we had a good flight over there. A little bumpy on the way back because there was a tropical depression brewing up somewhere out there, and we might have got on the outside edge of it or something. We flew at 38,500 feet both ways.
Wow, that was high.
Yeah, we were at 532 knots. Airspeed is what our speed was. I kept track of it on my phone, you know. I got a program that you can keep track of it. A good flight both ways. We got to the airport early to make sure that we got all checked in and baggages. You know, I used to be able to fly, Mark, from Charlotte to San Juan for $250, $260.
Yeah.
You know,
Good old days.
today it was. I mean, the other day it was how much?
Well, I believe the basic fare to get on the airplane was about $400 a piece for
Yeah.
the round trip. But then you had
No,
the
not round trip.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought I gave.
No, because I paid $250 years ago.
Yeah,
So
for a round trip.
yeah, so it couldn't have been.
Okay.
I don't know, but it was expensive. So then they added.
Then they started adding everything on. If you carry on a bag to that particular airline, and I won't tell you who it is, if you carry on a bag, it was anywhere from $59 to $74 for the carry-ons that go in the overhead.
Yep.
If you can make one small enough to be a personal item, then you don't have to pay for that. And luckily, my wife had ordered some special small bags, and we were actually able to carry it on. And when you do that, you not carry on personal item, and you put it under the seat in front of you. Then you didn't have to pay. But
Yeah.
if you put it in the overhead, you had to pay. And we had to get some help at the counter on the return trip, and that was $25 a piece. So that wound up for the 6 of us being extra $150 that we hadn't planned on. And
Yeah.
we actually had to pay. I believe I was charged $120 for seat assignments. So if
Yeah.
you wanted to get a pre-assigned seat, you had to pay them for that too. So. But it still wasn't near as much as some of the other airlines. I looked at one airline, and they were wanting like $2,000 to fly from Charlotte to
Yeah.
San Juan. So we didn't get anywhere near that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you just have to be careful and pick and choose as you can, and know that if you're on a real cheap flight, you're probably going to pay some additional fees.
Yeah. A lot of additional fees. When I used to fly years ago there, flew out of Charlotte. Fly to Charlotte, you can get a direct flight. If you go to Atlanta, I believe it goes from Atlanta to Miami, but I'm not sure about that. It makes a stop somewhere. But if you're getting ready to book tickets, make sure you look and see it's a direct flight. You can get a little bit cheaper flights, and it flies from Charlotte to Philadelphia. San Juan is crazy. So make sure you look at the flights that they go direct and not all around the world to get there. Yeah, it's gotten really, really expensive to fly now, and a lot of these newer Airbuses, I guess the expense of building those newer aircrafts, and the fact that I guess flying is not a lot of many people fly like they used to because of the expense. Well, they keep going up. You know, you got a family and 2 or 3. And if you're under a certain age, you fly for free, but it's after a certain age, you got to pay a full fare. It gets expensive, folks. It really gets expensive. So hopefully in the future they can adjust those prices maybe to come down some, but I don't look.
But we don't know, and
Yeah.
I know some people don't really like to fly because of all the added security you have to go through, and
Yeah.
take your belts off and your shoes off, and put you in that booth, and it's in that radar thing around you. And
Yeah.
they actually had all of us. They didn't just let us go through the little metal detectors this time that frequently they have used in the past. We all had to go through the thing where you raise your arms and the radar scans around you. And then both times, I don't know why, but when I came out of that, it had triggered something and I got patted down both times.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I was able to go. They didn't give me a hard time or anything, but
Yeah.
for some reason I triggered something. Don't know why. I don't have any metal in me or anything other than maybe fillings or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or sometimes they just pick you randomly.
Well, no, I triggered something both
Oh, you
times.
did?
Yeah, I don't know what.
You didn't have anything in your shoes, did you, Mark?
No. No, my shoes were in the
Oh, yeah.
basket.
They make you
I
take off
didn't
your
even have
shoes
them
and put them
on.
in the box. Yeah.
And I didn't even have a belt on either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't have a watch on because I left my good watch at home. I didn't have a watch the whole time I was there. I used my telephone for time, and my telephone was in the basket too, so that wasn't what triggered it.
Yeah. And on the
So
return trip, we were at the airport, standing and waiting for security to go through. And all the lights in the airport went out. Everything. You could hear the first time people, Wah! And a little bit later they came back on. I think it happened a couple times.
Yeah, we were about 4 or 5 people from the TSA officer who had to check our driver's license ID and our boarding passes. So we were almost into the point of going down the security line when the power goes off, and guess what that means?
Yep.
Had to reboot all the computers.
Yep.
And that took a while, and then just before they got them up, power went off again. And I think, didn't you ask about, does that happen very often there?
Yeah, it does.
And apparently it does down there. I've never had that happen anywhere else.
Yeah, they have a power grid over there it needs to be updated. They just keep putting bandages on it. Make a little fix. They don't really go in there and do a full scale rehab on that power grid system, power plant. And the power plant's right on the coast. So guess what? When you look at a big old thing of rust, it's all rusted. I've always thought for the years that they could go to the island, in the middle of the island somewhere, some remote place, and build a small nuclear plant to service the island. Because, the island's not very big, got a lot of people. The island is 132 miles long and 35 miles wide, so it's not a big island. And I think that could fix all their electrical needs. But I guess once you do that, then you gotta make a grid to supply everybody. I guess that'd be expensive. And the Puerto Rican people, the government there has always been, I don't know if you're listening, but you're crooked. They've always been like that.
Watch out what you say, Don. We're on
TV. Yeah, well, they can come get me. I'm located at 5109 Liberty Highway, Pendleton, South Carolina, if you want to come get me. But it's always been a corrupt government. All the people on the island know that. A lot of people. It's not any new news, but the people work hard, and the government pretty much takes the money, and I don't know what they do with it. But
time to talk about the good things. We're about halfway through.
Yeah, we're gonna leaving all that behind. We're gonna start talking about the good things.
Beautiful place to visit, and Don has a lot of family there. In fact, we were down there for a big birthday party, so I'll let Don take over and tell you about Puerto Rico, because he knows it like the back of his hand. He did most of the driving for us, and
I know the island not real well, but pretty good because I've been going over there for several years, well, a long time. I had a condo there, sold it about 5 years ago. It was right on the point, beautiful place, but it was expensive, and nobody ever went over to stay. I think Josh and his wife went over one time, stayed, and my cousins would use it on the weekends, stuff, and it was expensive to keep. So I sold it about 5 years ago. But anyway, that's a beautiful island, gorgeous island. And once you get away from the capital of San Juan, you go out to the outskirts, you can see the poor side of it. And those people work hard, and they have their little shanty and their huts, and we got a lot of pictures. I was looking for some bacalao. Bacalao is fried codfish. It looks like an elephant ear, about that big. And it's real thin codfish. They fry it, pull it out.
Fried in cornmeal, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like cornbread with
Yeah.
codfish flavor in it.
Yeah. Delicious. So we found an ear one.
Very delicious. And there, Don talked about the houses. I saw lots of pretty nice houses out in the
Yeah, there's
country.
some. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of different from our houses. They're more
They got
flat roofs and 2 stories a lot. So
Yeah.
they don't look like, all the houses we see that we have here, but some of them look quite nice. And the party was in a very nice villa.
Yeah, those houses are poured concrete walls and concrete roofs. They're flat because of hurricanes. And also you have a big blue cistern. You see them all over on the roofs. They collect rainwater to drink. So anyway, we went to the party, and it was at a really nice location.
Nice villa on the beach.
Yeah, on the beach, and it was in Arecibo, a town where my dad was from, a town called Arecibo. And we never got out to the tobacco farm where my mom was raised. Her and 14 other siblings were raised on a tobacco plantation. Almost in the middle of the island, the town is called Florida. It's spelled just like Florida, but it's pronounced Florida. And that's where all your big pharmaceutical companies have big plants in Florida. Why they picked that place, I don't know. And I think Dole pineapple they have a big plant there. We never did get to go by to see it, but there's pineapples all over that island. We got one, picked one up.
It was wonderful.
And we had it sliced up and put in a bowl. Boy, it was so good. Then they have a little fruit there that I love. It's a little green fruit about that big, about 1 inch in diameter. It has a shell on it. You put it in your mouth and you just bite down and the shell breaks off. Take the shell, throw it away. Inside was a big seed with mucus all over it, sweet. Put it in your mouth and you suck all that mucus off, spit it out.
That's not a very good word for it. It was delicious. It's more like citrus, I guess. Kind of the texture of slimier texture of citrus.
Yeah, of citrus, yeah.
And it's really not shaped like a ball. It's shaped more like a pecan with points on the end of it, and about that size.
Yeah, but those were small ones.
Yeah.
When you get to the big ones, they're round.
Okay, they're bigger.
Yeah, they're bigger and they're round, a lot tastier. But they're delicious. Anyway, I bought a bag of those. They ate a few of them. Some of them liked it, some of them didn't. And I ate the rest of them. I just sat there in my room and then went through security. They don't allow produce to cross the lines there. So I had 4 of them in the plastic thing where you put all your stuff. I noticed they didn't take 4 of them. So I put them in my pocket and I had 4 on the plane.
Okay.
It's delicious. So anyway, it was my cousin, Hector Montalvo Acevedo, his 80th birthday. And there was, how many people there?
Oh, my goodness. 50 to 75, maybe? That many?
Yeah, I think there was
50 at least.
75 at least, yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of folks there anyway. It was a surprise, so we all gathered in this big room. He came in the door thinking his daughter was taking him to dinner at this pretty place for his birthday. He walked in the door and had no clue, and he was really, really surprised. I got a bunch of pictures, and maybe one day I'll get it to where I can put them on a screen. Mark can help me put them on a screen, and we'll show you all the pictures of our trip. So that was a big event, good event. I saw a lot of uncles, good ones and bad ones. Won't go there. And I saw an old man that was at the door sitting down, and he told me to come over there. He asked me my name. I told him. He said, I was a friend of your dad's. I said, my dad? I said, yeah. And I think there's not many of them left. Mm-hmm. But he said, yeah, I was a friend of your dad's. So he told me some stories about my dad. My dad was, I could write a book about my dad. Crazy man. So anyway, met with him and a lot of people that I haven't seen. I met relatives I didn't know I had, you know, there. Everybody there was, you asked me the last name, was Acevedo, you know. So it's a very popular name over there. So then we took a day trip. This was prior to that. We took a day trip to the caves. There's some caves in Kamui, C-A-M-U-Y, Kamui, which is in the eastern part of the island. We drove there. It's about an hour and a half drive from San Juan. And we went into these caves that go underground, and there's several thousand feet underground. Let me tell you, I'll never do that walk again unless I got a cart. We walked and walked. How far would you?
It was about 40-minute walk in from the place. And when we went, I think Don and Jane thought there would be a tram car to take everyone down, but there wasn't. And it was quite steep down because the cavern entered way down in the bottoms there.
Yeah. And actually, I think when you enter down there at some point, you're below sea level.
Well, it would surprise me. Well, you got to be because the land's pretty much at sea level, isn't it?
Yeah.
So of course, we were in the hill. We were in some hills. So.
Yeah. So.
And we kept going down into the cavern.
Way down in the cavern, when you get down to the bottom, there's a big hole, and then it's about 1,500 foot down, and there's a underwater
river,
freshwater river.
Third largest in the world, they said, didn't they? Third largest underwater river in the world, I believe they said.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And on the way back, I said, I'm not walking up there. I'll spend the night here before I walk that. So I were able to get a ride on these four-wheelers.
We were rescued by some, I think, Tropical Storm Debbie's rain, because it came a torrential rain.
Yeah.
Right when we got to the end of the caverns and back to the little shed. They called it a bunker. It was kind of like a shed, a small building, open building.
Yeah.
And so because it was raining, they took everyone up by the golf cart, the passenger golf cart type vehicles they had.
Yeah. And one more point, and then we'll be able to close the show here. On a sad note, I got back and I got a message that one of my cousins, and I asked why she wasn't there. I asked her sister, where is she? This is in Miami. She was a wonderful real estate agent, and she died. She passed, and the funeral is tomorrow. I think they're going to have another funeral later on in the month, and I'll probably fly down for that one. And she's going to be buried with my grandmother, grandfather, an aunt, my mom, and my dad. They're all in one tomb underground. So she's going to be laid to rest there at some point. They'll put her to rest there. It was a sad note, you know. But anyway, that's it. So we just ran out of time, so thank you for watching the show. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be back next week, same time, 11 a.m., same station. So come back and join us. Bye-bye.
Bye.